Hi, everybody. It's Jessica Side here with Everreal, and I am actually joined by my husband, Matt, today because we wanted to talk to you about coronavirus. And
Because there's not nearly enough talk about coronavirus in the media right now.
that is correct. So, but we thought it was really important that at least we put something out there that talks about our industry, not just our industry, but you, if you are a buyer or a seller that is thinking about getting into the market right now, we want to show you some ways that we can help serve you and keep you safe at the same time. And I thought we should just kind of go through kind of our new policies from here until whenever things die down with this. So I brought Matt in today so that we could kind of just have a discussion. We'll try and go quickly because I know that not everybody, well, actually everyone's got a lot of time on their hands right now. Not everybody. I know we're all trying to work from home and manage our children from home. Today was our first homeschool day, basically, with the children. And so things went relatively well. We'll talk about it later, Matt. Okay, so we're going to talk about sellers and we're going to talk about buyers. What are we doing to protect sellers? So first of all, I had my first post-coronavirus walkthrough of a seller's house yesterday. So some of the precautions that we took. Number one, we had already talked to each other that we would not be shaking hands or giving each other a hug, and that we would stay apart, even though that's a little bit awkward because we're all used to, doing those things.
Sure.
So we stayed apart. I had a mask on because I have a bit of a cough. And so we just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to be an issue. I did not touch any surfaces at the house. So they opened doors, I wasn't touching the shower to open it up. They did all the touching. I was just careful to keep my distance from them. And the other thing that we did is we cut it short. So we had a shorter appointment than usual. And then we're going to do our second part of our appointment on something like this, like a Zoom call, or we can do Skype. We can also, if someone doesn't have the capability of doing that, which is actually pretty simple, because if I set it up, all you have to do is click on a link in your email. But if you don't have the capability to do that, I can send you an email and then we can go over everything, marketing, pricing, all of those things over the phone. So really that walkthrough was the one thing where we had to kind of be together. But I also try and make sure when I'm talking to my clients, I get a very good idea of what the house is already like, so that when I'm walking through, I'm just taking pictures and kind of doing my finalization on understanding what the house is like.
Could I just jump in really quick? Because I think it's important to just clarify that at Everreal, we're not intending to come into your home or show you property if we are actually sick. So Jessica was being extra cautious, and it's about just kind of making sure everybody feels comfortable, and we're taking those extra measures to make sure that we're limiting risk. Jessica mentioned that she had a cough, but she was already 100% non-contagious according to the doctor. So I guess I just wanted to make sure that people don't think that we're going to be out trudging around with the temperature and putting a mask on. Obviously in that situation, that's part of why we're a team, so that somebody else on our team can step in and take care of our clients.
Absolutely. Very good point. The other thing that I did do that I didn't mention is took off my shoes. And I know that's something that a lot of people do in listings anyway, but right now there is information out there that says the coronavirus can be tracked around on your shoes. So that's just a safety precaution that we have right now.
The other thing with sellers that we're really focusing on, so many of you know that as a team, a real estate team, we have a 3D camera, and we have used that in the past for a lot of marketing. But again, if what we're trying to accomplish for sellers right now, being comfortable putting their homes on the market, having strangers walk through their homes, that is a medium that we can use to basically filter out buyers before they even come and walk through your home. It will eliminate the looky-loos, if you will. You want to sell your house, so you want a potential buyer to be in your home and see your home. And with a 3D camera tour, it allows us to give that walkthrough experience to potential buyers before they even have to walk into your home. And so for those of you that haven't seen it, you can just go to everreal3d.com and just kind of check out what that looks like. But it really is a true walkthrough of the house, up, down, back and forth. And so that's a technology that we're using for our sellers, so that we not only are marketing their property, but giving that extra barrier of people being able to walk through the property without actually having to physically be there.
Yeah. So the 3D tours, and we've done that in the past. Some houses we've done 3D tours, smaller houses we haven't. We are going to just across the board make sure that we're doing 3D tours, so that no matter the size of your house, you can limit the amount of people walking through. If we can go from 10 people walking through your house to 2 people walking through your house, that's going to be so much better for you. So let's talk about that. So number one is limiting the amount of people that come in. 3D tours is one of the best ways we can do that. Another way we can do that is pre-screening. So we are going to set a policy that says that no one can walk through your house unless we have a pre-approval letter in hand, or proof of funds if it's a cash buyer. So again, it just reduces anybody who might just like, I just want to go look at houses. Hopefully people are not doing that right now, but we will eliminate that. So the screening of the buyers before they even consider walking through your house is going to be really important. The other thing that we're going to do is we can screen people for showings, either through us as the agent or through you as the seller. If you decide that you would do it, we'll just give you a checklist of the things that you're going to be asking, including pre-approval, proof of funds, but also, have you been sick? Has anyone in your family been sick? And we're just going to kind of make sure no one is sick or recently sick going through your house. And also just making sure that they've done a 3D tour. And the other potential that we have is to actually do a FaceTime tour. So Matt, I don't know if you want to talk about that really quick, but there's different ways we can do that, including having the seller do it, having the list agent do it, having the buyer's agent do it. Again, the fewer people we can have walk through the house, the better.
Yeah, and I think that some of this is going to be up to you as the seller. What our goal is to help you feel comfortable and keep you safe in the selling process. So as far as a FaceTime tour of the home, that is something that we could have. Again, if we've already done a 3D tour, that's pretty thorough, but you could ask the buyer's agent, we could ask the buyer's agent to preview the property for their clients. So you've got one person walking through your house with a FaceTime tour of the home live with their clients before they then come in as a couple, of family, whatever that looks like, to be able to look at the property themselves. So it just kind of limits the number of bodies in the home, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. And we're having this whole social distancing thing going on.
Yeah. So then the other thing that we're going to be doing is providing, we're going to pre-screen, right? So we're going to reduce the number of people that are coming through. We're going to pre-screen, and then we're also going to give instructions over the phone to the agent. So we are going to have a sign at the door that says, please, use hand sanitizer before you walk through the house. And hand sanitizer is one of those things that is a limited commodity right now. So if you have it in your home, setting out, I think that would be great. I know that each of us has a limited amount. Otherwise we would be happy to provide that, but we can't go to the store right now and get hand sanitizer. So hand sanitizing, take off your shoes. We can even ask people to please wear masks. One of the things that we're going to do is, you as the seller, to open all doors, turn on all lights, and then there'll be instructions to not close any doors or turn off any lights, basically to reduce the amount of fingers that are touching anything. And we can ask people then also to sanitize anything they do touch, or, open something like this. So, I think there's really going to be important that we give very clear instructions to anyone that is going to be walking through the house.
Yeah, I think also too, it's going to depend, as you as the seller, how conscientious are you of this as far as I touch my face? Some people that have a compromised immune system, they're not going to trust some buyer agent that they went through and sanitized the home correctly. And so in a situation like that, it might be more advantageous for us to schedule block showings where anybody that wants to look at the property, we're going to do that in a 1 or 2 hour window where you can be gone from the property. And then when you come back into the home, you know that you're probably going to re-sanitize everything anyway, just to be safe. But that way you're not doing it 4 or 5 times in a single day, but you're doing it once after everybody's come to take a look at it. So that is the customization that we can do with helping you kind of mitigate some of the potential risks while we're showing property during these times.
Matt, you really need to turn off your phone. Unbelievable.
I turned off. It's an alarm.
Matt he has a lot of alarms that go off in our house. Every night alarms go off. Our children are just like, Dad, turn off your alarm.
Hey, one of the alarms is to remind people to lock their cars. And Ethan didn't do it the other night and got a baseball bat stolen. So he can mock me all he wants, but.
Okay. So let's quickly walk through buyers. So again, we're looking at both sides of this, right? We want to keep buyers safe. We want to keep sellers safe. So as we look at this, we're kind of making sure that we are, as buyers, are also being sensitive to the fact that people are walking through other people's homes. So the number one thing that we can do is refine our searches. So, sometimes we'll be like, oh, look at anything, anywhere. And it might be a good idea right now to really think about what you want and to refine those searches. The other thing that we're going to be doing is making sure that any property that you are interested in, that you do a drive-by first before we set up any showings. Just because, again, sellers are going to be less inclined to want people to walk through their house if they don't know they like the area, if they haven't taken a 3D tour, all of those things. So that's going to be kind of our first line of defense, making sure we're not looking at houses that have something about it that you're not going to like. And number 2, doing the drive-by.
Obviously, if there's a 3D tour, which not a lot of agents use out there, but if there is, that's a great place that we can start as a buyer to get an idea of the property, a virtual tour of some kind. As your buyer's agent, if it would be helpful to you and it would make you feel more comfortable, we can preview property for you and do a FaceTime walkthrough for you, just like we would for an out-of-town buyer. And then from there, you can make a determination if it's a property that you're really interested in seeing and walking through rather than walking through a bunch of houses.
Yeah, that's good. And the other thing that I think that we're going to also just be, mentioning is only people that need to walk through the house should be. So if we get to that point, we've driven by, we've taken a FaceTime tour, maybe the listing agent has got something for us, or maybe they're willing to do it, or the buyer's agent does it. When you actually then go to the house, we want as few people walking through that house as possible. So leave the kids at home, just the people that need to make the decision on the house. And that means that it's not going to be like, we're not going to come back we probably don't want to be coming back several times. Sometimes it'll be like, well, I want to look at it, and then my husband wants to look at it later. That's probably going to be frowned upon by sellers. They're probably just going to want you to walk through it, the one time, not continuing to bring more and more people back. So that's going to be important.
I just have to throw this out really quick because with what's happening in the real estate market and the markets in general with this whole virus thing and some of these barriers of entry, if you will, that are going to make it a little more challenging for buyers to see property, I believe that this season is probably going to be one of the best times in 2020 to be a buyer because we have had such low inventory and so much demand for properties. I think this will kind of create a little bit of a cool down. I don't think it's going to drop values. That's not what this video is about, but I just want to encourage buyers that, yeah, this could be a few extra hoops to jump through, but in the long run, I think it will make it so you have a little less competition on those highly sought after properties.
Yeah. So the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to be, when we get on the phone with the listing agent, now we're to the point where we're setting up a showing. We're going to let them know some of the things that we're going to do to keep them safe. And one of the things we're going to ask of them is that they tell their seller, please open all the doors, turn on all the lights. We are going to touch as few surfaces as possible, including we're not going to be turning off lights unless they obviously request it. But we're trying to show them, hey, we're going to reduce the amount of touching that's going to happen, to doorknobs and surfaces and things like that. So we're going to actually ask them to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, really, a lot of what we're proposing is exactly what we would ask buyers to do for you if you're a seller. Things like taking off your shoes, sanitizing your hands, wiping down those surfaces that are touched, if any are touched, before you leave. So just kind of positioning you that would be what we would want to give to a seller as a buyer, because if you're a seller, that's what you'd hope to have as well.
Yeah, so our agents are all going to be showing houses with hand sanitizer on them. They'll be giving you some. If you have some, bring it along. Sanitizing your hands before you go into the house, taking off the shoes, all of those things, even if those instructions are not given. The other thing that we've talked about is basically just riding in separate cars. Sometimes that happens anyway, but that's just going to become a policy, is that the agent and the buyer are not going to be in the same car. And if they're having a discussion, 6 feet apart, no handshaking, no hugging, just keeping that distance to keep everybody safe. So this is an ever shifting situation that we have on our hands. And I think that, our goal is to continue to serve you, to continue to serve our sellers and continue to serve our buyers. And at the same time, be smart, be safe, and just take every precaution. Like, even if it seems silly, like, let's just do it. Who cares if it seems silly that I'm walking around the house, at somebody's house with plastic gloves on, which I have some, which is really great. And I will be putting those in my car because, hey, I don't have any interest in either getting sick or getting someone else sick. So that is the goal.
Our commitment to all of you as our clients is that we're going to take care of you, not just in your real estate, but anything that we can do for your health as well. So don't be afraid in the midst of COVID-19 to be a buyer or seller. Just make sure that we're all taking the right precautions and we can still help you buy and sell.
That's great. All right. Thank you, everybody. If you stayed to the end of this video, I feel like I should be giving you a prize or something.
We should, right here. There's anybody, the first person that emails Jessica at info@everreal.com will give you a $10 Starbucks coffee card, and you can still use them. You just got to go through the drive-through.
All right. I like it. I think that's fantastic.
So we'll see who actually gets to the bottom or the end, the bottom, whatever that is.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we will talk to you soon. If you need anything, call us at 509-62-HOUSE. All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.